on today's edition, where we are talking about not just food, about life in general, right, Amaya?
Of course. And speaking about lifestyles and the Colombo, should I say, wildlife, is something that you comment on generally, and you've known to have some very interesting opinions about what you see around you.
It's all truth, it's what you go around here, you see what's happening. And we are a very superficial lot in Colombo, all trying to act, their values are something else here, it's strange. They have just completely mad values in this place. And everybody wants to show off, one wants to be, that's not everybody was like that, but the type you see at this general cocktail circle and on, well, 90% are that.
So basing your judgment on what you see the day-to-day basis in the environment, specifically in Colombo, was that the inspiration in starting your own column?
Well, that was part of it, so it was a great, and we good laugh. I mean, people enjoyed, a lot of people, we don't name anyone, so if I do name someone, it's to praise someone for what efforts they had or done or achieved or something, which I find very interesting. Others, it's if the cap fits, you wear it, that's all. So that's amazing, because if I'm thinking of you and writing about you, actually, it's Banu who gets excited. That's the most lovely part about it. So I do get a few enemies here and there, but it's fun.
You get a thrill out of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm being judgmental about people, it's just I'm talking about the fun part, because also what would Colombo be without these human beings,
Of course, that is also true, right? It would be a very boring place to live in.
There's nothing like going and see all these people all pretending and talking big. Everybody wants to talk big here,
But how do you keep it fresh every day? And sometimes what you see around you can get a bit stale. So where do you find the inspiration?
Sometimes you get, but you find a character popping up from somewhere to sustain weekly. So then I go to a spa or something, enjoy it, and then if it's good, I write about it. So just give it a bit of break, other than they think always meow, meow, meow all the way,
The claws are not always out.
Claws are not always out. I'm not such a bad person.
Can we share some stuff that you've written on your column on today's show?
We don't need to name names.
Name names, exactly.
It's casual. It's anything, It's from a telephone call, you find something, or it's our people's attitude towards something. Every day, I mean, you all must be seen for yourself when you go everywhere, I mean, I think life in general is that everyone is acting some way or another,
Of course. And speaking about acting, now you've dabbled in that as well, and you've made quite a name for yourself, actually.
Outrageous.
Yes. And vivacious.
Jinx.
Oh, wow.
We actually
Look at us, Manu. But tell us about getting into that. And I mean, you're such a creative person in that aspect.
Well, it was also always a fun aspect, and the best part of it is when it first originated, I was supposed to be like a joke, and it was somebody else's idea, actually.
Oh, I see.
And they wanted to be the limelight of the show, and I, with my own self, decided that I'm going to be my old self and look hideous, try to be, play a role which will be completely wild. And I stole the limelight, and I carried on. And they are like faded and jaded, and they are quite annoyed with me. I think one or two of them won't talk to me also. So I can't help that. But then, of course, I make it a point to do this annual show, which I have now wanted to give up. Every day, everybody laughs at me. They say, everything, you're like never can say goodbye, right? Because you never keep on giving it up. So it's one final show, but obviously connected with the charity so that they also can make some money. And it's a fun thing which a lot of people in Colombo look forward to, because life has to be fun, What's the whole point of being mournful and...
Of course.
Ever since you got into showbiz, I think you excel at that. How much of support have you got so far from your family? Because we all know that you're a family-oriented person.
My family, well, my mother was quite okay with it. My sister, of course, my mother is now passed away some time back. But you see, my sister doesn't come for anything. She'll come for this show probably, but all the time she says, I don't need to see you, or constant acting at home. So why should I come and see you on stage? It doesn't make any difference to her, so she never comes. So only for the annual show she would come, but otherwise she doesn't. So my family has been always very cool and supportive, So there is I have never had family issues or anything like that. I mean, a lucky one.
Of course, and that's always a great thing, isn't it, to have your family by your side when you're doing anything like that.
I know, I mean, not that I mix around my family a lot, but the people I do mix around, they're very supportive and they're very happy for me, you know.
So you lead a busy lifestyle. You write, you cook, you create so many wonderful shows. But what do you do to unwind?
I love watching TV. I have to do that. I'm a TV addict, and I love watching Law and Order. I have my friend Harendra who comes home and we sit. You won't believe, sometimes even it's a holiday or something like that, we get a series, and sometimes it's 4 or 5 in the morning if it's like a long, like the Aurudu break or something.
So basically it's a movie marathon night.
It's a movie marathon night, and I can have a movie marathon night every night. I really enjoy watching it. For me, I love TV. I just absolutely like TV. I love all kinds of programs with law and crime, and you know.
So you're a closet lawyer. I'm sure if you see a crime scene, you will go into investigator mode.
One of my mad things, you know, when you're in school and all, and you're really wondering which way you're going, I really thought I must be a lawyer once, you know. that plant, to be a planter was also very fashionable. Even that's not a trade very fashionable anymore. You know, I used to love tea estates and all. I thought that's a very glamorous job, you know, to be a PD or something like that. Those are the two mad ideas actually I did have. But then I thought that cooking was my option after that.
So on the last show that we discussed, I'm sure some of you may have missed it, and of course Amaya, you missed it.
Sadly.
You were talking about the visit to Iraq.
Yeah.
That was a huge adventure for you. Just to reminisce about it.
Reminisce, I have to tell you something, that every time I'm like, I always say, I feel that I'm like a phoenix. I always go down, my whole life goes. My life is like a yo-yo, you know. I go down to the bottom and then I come up. So actually, if you look, I'm like a contour like that. You know, my life has been like a yo-yo. But I take the good and the bad the same way. So the circumstances which took me to Iraq, and that was the best thing which happened to me. Because from Iraq only I went into Portugal, which was the even better thing which happened to me. And I had a complete 8.5 years in Portugal. But always connected with cooking. So whatever I had done, whether I'm acting or writing, those are all, by the way, things who, it's a diversion for me sometimes. I'm dying. I'm now ready to write autobiography about myself. It will be great fun.
You heard it here on Good Morning Sri Lanka.
I'm waiting for one more, something else to happen, then I think I'll be ready to write it, because it'll be fun.
Well, it is definitely a life yo-yo, what you just mentioned to us.
Yeah, because I had lots of ups and downs in my life, and I mean, it's what to do.
On that note, do you really believe everything happens for a reason, and do you really believe in destiny?
I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, and I always feel that one has to, everything there's a lesson to it, and including your life, the people you move around with, you find, I don't know, you know, we have this, we lose a term called friends, you know. Actually, there people are not friends, you know, we are a lot of acquaintances we meet. To find a friend is such a rare thing here, because I don't know, if you have a really good friend, you're very lucky. And for me, with all the people I know, actually there are only 2 or 3 I can actually depend on, have a conversation, because you can't have a conversation with someone, no? If you decide to come, I've seen it happening all over, and if you decide to confide in someone or something which is bad, they will listen to you, they will sympathize with you, everything, and as soon as you turn on, they're on the telephone and whoosh, the whole of Colombo knows before you know what has happened, you know. And so a lot of insincerity. So I believe, but my life has shown me so many things which I think is fantastic, and that's why for me nothing, I don't know what, nothing really ruffles me anymore, because nothing surprises me anymore.
You've seen it all.
I've seen it all. I'm sure there's more to say, but
you're ready for any challenge to come.
Yeah, so then you don't take these things to heart. That's the main thing.
But that's important, isn't it? I mean, when you do find someone, a friend that you can really trust and confide in, it's important to keep that friendship.
It's very important. And that, you know, strangely to have in Sri Lanka, it's very difficult. I find that so much insincerity, especially, I don't know, perhaps I have not met the correct people. But
you mentioned the fact that you have two
or three people.
We can talk about them as well on the show. Who really inspired you to be who you are today, doing what you love to do?
Nobody inspired me in that line. I was my own inspiration, because I don't know all circumstances, even this performing and getting into these outfits and all. But just by the way, you was a come as part of it to be the joke, you know, right? We are the beauties in this show, you know, and there I just did my own thing and stole the limelight. So always it has been, There's always been circumstances like that. Something has happened.
So go on, please.
And I said, I didn't go searching for this celebrity status I have. It was thrust upon me, I would say.
But you are carrying it off very well, I must say. And the costumes, now let's talk about that, because do you get involved in the process at all?
Costumes, when I first started, there are two people who get involved in my costumes. One is Krisanti Fernando Pulle and Okudwan Loching, who also does wonderful. So they are both fun. You know, they do great things, and you know, the whole point of getting into those costumes is not to look fabulous, but to look ridiculous. Because that's the whole point of it, you know. There's no point trying to, I don't have hourglass figure. So the more, and that's the nicest thing. A lot of the ladies tell me, the larger ones tell me, you give us a lot of confidence in what you wear, you know, when they see me in a nice mini. I said, yeah, girl, just wear it, you know. So it's nice when you get comments like that, you know.
So inspiration to many, I guess.
Yeah.
So you gotta get flattered by the way.
Yeah. You know, so why not, you know, just be outrageous, you know.
All right. So speaking about coming back to your food, which is your first love, what are the trends you see that are coming up in Sri Lanka now? You mentioned about how so many people are opening up restaurants these days, but what are the really outstanding things that you're seeing as trends that have hit the society now?
Outstanding thing is a lot of people are putting a lot of money into these restaurants. The thing is, there are lots of restaurants which are open which are not necessarily nice. Sad to say, most of them are not nice. There are very few which have scored top points, or you'll be good to see. There's a lot of people putting a lot of money into it. I don't know, it's just that it doesn't taste good, you know. Most places, it's sad. It's very, very sad that that is one of the big things, you know, there's variety. And I'll tell you the sad part about this place. We don't have a proper Sri Lankan restaurant in Sri Lanka. So I always specify the fact that we must promote our food. We are the only country in the world who are ashamed of our own nationality, you know, that they all, you go to Sri Lankan hotel, you don't find anything Sri Lankan about a hotel, right? Do you find anyone, not even a uniform? From the doorman to the receptionist to there are them in those pencil skirts and all these things with those coated legs of theirs, you know. You can't, there's nothing Sri Lankan about this. In the bedrooms, I mean, you might even get a coverlet from Thailand or somewhere, not Sri Lankan. We are ashamed of our own products here, much as them. We have such lovely products here. And tourists would love to see our product, right? And we really do not promote our own food. You don't find a Sri Lanka. And let me tell you, now people will ask, without talking, why don't you open one? Well, I am not a very good businessman, but if people come to me and say, let's open a restaurant, it's Sri Lanka, they say, nah, our Soma makes a better curry in my house, and who wants to go in Sri Lanka? But once you talk about this cheese and that cheese and this thing and that, you know, all the European, we are so European. I'm really sad to say that we are not proud of our own culture and our own, you don't see it, it's not visible in Colombo anymore.
So you see a real lack of national pride?
I feel a real lack of national pride where food is concerned. Because you see, whatever is opening, it's everything under the sun other than for Sri Lanka.
Sri Lankan. So you think that there should be more people exploring that and really reviving that, not only Soma at home, but
they don't even know. And you know, even the people, when we interview people and all for jobs, they know Chinese, they don't know Sri Lankan. So I can't understand. So I feel that we should really push our, because it's wherever I have cooked it, it's people love it.
Maybe one of the reasons is being ignorant about what Sri Lanka is all about. Yeah,
I don't know, because actually we have such fancy this boutique hotels and all the concepts. You'll get all the poached eggs and all these things. You won't get actually. Fortunately, some of the hotels now do have some Sri Lankan thing in the morning. But you know, you don't find Sri Lankan per se, you know. You'll never find a Sri Lankan dinner, a set menu of Sri Lankan food. You don't find. So I feel that we should really push our national food, which is very important, because you go to any other part of the world, you won't eat their food.
Of course. So why shouldn't you have Sri Lankan food when you come here?
And that's what the foreign always ask.
Yes,
they always ask. You go to Thailand, we are eating green curry, red curry, all the curries. You go to, you know, Indonesian, we are eating all the ayam sakans and all these things. You go everywhere, Hong Kong and all Chinese. So you come to Sri Lanka, you are trying to eat pseudo Italian.
Find a decent curry somewhere.
Yeah, you can't find a curry in the night.
Points to ponder, definitely.
And in the night, when we want, only thing you get is a brekade, which is a kotoroti or something, but it's not what you would really like to eat, you know.
Of course.
As much as it tastes, I love kotoroti, you know, but you know, that's all you get.
Yes.
That's the message from Kolo. So be proud of being Sri Lankan, and that's what we're promoting here on Good Morning Sri
You
Lanka.
have
So
guests, you have to entertain them in your house.
of course. So we'll speak more about your views on that right after this short break. So I have to remind you again, like us on our Facebook page. That's www.facebook.com/Good Morning Sri Lanka, and send us your feedback at mtvsports@maharaja.lk. So we'll be right back. Stay with us on the show.